All right. Yesterday we talked about the East. Let's talk about the West. So, first and foremost, teams that I think are a lock to make the playoffs the Avalanche and the Stars, they've already clinched their spot in the playoffs. The Wild, I think, should be able to make it in the playoffs. They have 92 points right now. And the Mammoth, they only have 80 points. But considering how bad the Pacific Division is and how bad the West is in general, they should be able to make it in and get that top wild card spot. They're not going to catch Minnesota, Dallas, or Colorado anytime soon, but I think they should be able to get in. Now for the teams that I think are on the fringe of being on the playoff line. Oh, okay, bye, Willie. I love that cat. The Ducks, they have 82 points, 70 games, 6-3-1 record in their last 10 games. So they're playing all right. They're playing pretty well. And I think that's going to continue. I don't really see the Ducks falling out of the playoffs. The Golden Knights, 78.71 games, 4-6 record over their last 10 games. The Golden Knights are not a very good hockey team right now. They have been struggling as of late. And that may just keep them out of the playoffs. I don't think it will, considering how bad the Pacific Division is. But I do think that it is very concerning if you're a Knights fan. Speaking of concerning, the Oilers have 77 points in 71 games. So they have one less point than the Knights in the same amount of games. 5-4-1 record over their last 10. The big thing here, it's been the same problems for this team as it has been, God, for however long I've been watching hockey. Goaltending and defense. Tristan Jarry right now, he is unplayably bad. I don't think it's necessarily all his fault. I do think the defense in front of him isn't the best. But Connor Ingram, he's making saves right now. Tristan Jarry hasn't really been doing that. And on top of that, Leon Draisaitl going to be out for the rest of the regular season. That's also very concerning if you're the Oilers. Now for the team in the first wild card spot, the Nashville Predators. 75.70 games, 6-3-1 over their last 10. So they're actually playing pretty decent hockey, which is something I won't be saying for most, if not all, the rest of these teams that I'm going to list here today. The Kings, they are 2 points back of the Predators, 73.70 games, 4-3-3 record over their last 10. They've been very mediocre. They're very mediocre. They're still trying to figure things out under DJ Smith, but they seem to be having the same problems under DJ Smith that they had under Jim Hiller. Seattle Kraken, 69 games. This is important. They've played one less game, but they have 71 points, and they have been I think the second worst team since the Olympic break ended. They're 3-7 in their last 10, so they are not playing good hockey right now, and they're not even getting points in the process. In fact, they're getting shellacked in nearly every single game. The Sharks, 70 points in 68 games, so they've played 2 less games than the Predators, but they have 5 less points. So they're going to need some of these other teams to fall. They are 3-5-2 in their last 10. Also, another team not playing too well. On the contrary, though, a team that is actually playing pretty decent hockey, the Winnipeg Jets. 70 points, 70 games, 5-3-2 record. They're playing okay. I think it might be a bit too late in the season for them to really make a run at things, but who knows. The Ducks, they have some key matchups upcoming for the rest of the season. Oilers, Sharks twice, Predators twice. I think they're going to be good enough to make the playoffs. I think they should be okay. And they also have to play the Canucks, I think, one more time. They'll be okay. The Knights, they play the Jets twice, the Oilers twice, and the Kraken twice. With how this team has been playing, those are not easy games anymore. Granted, none of them are necessarily easy, but you get my point. With how the Knights have been playing, that's a tall task. That's a tall task. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see them slip a bit, maybe into that third slot in the Pacific. Again, I don't think the Knights are going to slip out of the playoffs entirely, because they would have to really fall down for that. They're 5 points above the Kings right now. Granted, the Kings have a game in hand. They have a game in hand, but I think the Knights would really have to fall pretty dang far in order for that to happen. So I don't think the Knights are in any danger of missing the playoffs, and I don't think the Oilers are in any danger of missing the playoffs either, despite the poor goaltending and Leon Draisaitl being hurt and all that. I don't think the Oilers are in any danger to miss the playoffs either. They play the Knights twice, the Ducks, the Kraken, the Sharks, and the Kings in their upcoming schedule. So that is 6 of their last 11 games that are actually pretty important. And they play one of those teams tonight. Or no, I think they might play the Mammoth tonight. I don't remember. They play a Western Conference team tonight. That's my point. But yeah, I like the Knights. I don't think the Oilers are in any danger of slipping out of the playoffs either. A team that I do think might be in danger of slipping out of the playoffs, the Nashville Predators. They definitely have, I don't want to say the hardest schedule, but definitely the most important schedule left. In their last 12 games or whatever, 12 games. In their last 12 games, they play the Sharks 3 times, the Kings twice. The Kings, of course, probably their main competition for the second wild card spot, and they play the Ducks twice. So 7 of their last 12 games are very important games, 2 of which being against the Kings, who they're fighting for that wild card spot. The Sharks, they play 3 times, another team they're fighting for with that wild card spot. Let's say the Sharks win all 3 of those. That's 6 points right there. Predators are going to have to get those elsewhere and make up that ground. So I think the Predators definitely have the most important schedule left of anybody in the West Conference. The Kings, they play the Predators twice, the Oilers and the Kraken. Honestly, not the worst schedule. But they're going to have to find ways to pick up points more consistently. The Kraken, they're not the best team. They're actually getting pretty decent goaltending this year from both goaltenders. But their offense has been sputtering. Their offense is really hit or miss, it feels. And as of late, they've been more miss than they have been hit. They have the Oilers, Jets, and the Knights twice in their last few games here. So if they can manage to, pick up points against teams like the Knights and the Oilers, teams that they probably shouldn't get points against, I wouldn't be surprised to see the Kraken slingshot into that second wild card slot. But with the way they've been playing, I don't have much confidence in them. The Sharks, they have the Predators twice, the Ducks twice, they have the Predators 3 times, Ducks twice, and they play the Oilers and the Jets. The Sharks, I mentioned this yesterday with the Bruins. Sharks, they're a young team. It's not terribly uncommon to see young teams run out of gas late in the season, and I fear that's what we're seeing here with the Predators. Or, not the Predators, the Sharks. I fear that's what we're seeing here with the Sharks. They they've been on a fall ever. They've been on a pretty hard fall ever since, I don't know, January, give or take. And I think it might be a bit too early for them. As for the Winnipeg Jets, they play the Knights twice, the Kraken and the Sharks in their last few games. The problem with the Jets is that they got themselves into a pretty deep hole early and they're trying to climb out of it. But I think it'll be too late for them. 70 points, 70 games. I think it'll be a bit too late for them. The teams I have making the playoffs in the Western Conference are in the Central, Avalanche, Stars, Wild. No surprise there. Those are going to be the top 3 spots. The Ducks are probably going to win the Pacific. As of right now, they look far and away like the best team in that division. The Oilers, I do think, are going to be able to jump the Golden Knights, just because the Golden Knights have been playing some really bad hockey, man. Like, really bad. I mean, they're getting shut out by teams like Pittsburgh. That that doesn't inspire any confidence in me. I don't know what's wrong with this team, but they just cannot play a full 60 minutes, it seems. So yeah, I do have the Oilers jumping the Knights, and I have the Knights finishing third in the Pacific. But that's only because I really do not trust the Knights. And in the first wild card slot, I have the Utah Mammoth. As I said, they don't have the most points in the world. The Ducks have more points than them. But just given how bad the race is for the wild card slots, I think the Utah Mammoths should be able to hold down that first wild card spot. And then, as boring as it is, the team I have finishing in the second wild card slot right now, it has to be the Predators. I mean, they're simply playing the best of all the teams here right now, and they have the most important games upcoming. So, if they lose, say, all 3 of those to the Sharks, or drop 2 of them, or drop both of them to the Kings, or whatever, yeah, that could very easily change. But just with how they're playing right now compared to everybody else in the Western Conference, I have to think that the Predators should be able to lock down that second wild card slot. And their reward is just going to be, a 4-game series against Colorado. So how exciting is that? But all jokes aside, as much as I would love to see a team like the Sharks or the Kraken or even the Jets get in, I can't really see it happening. The Kraken are playing some really bad hockey right now. The Kings, they've been playing some really sloppy hockey all year long. The Sharks, I think it's just a year too early, and they've also been playing some bad hockey right now. The Jets, they're playing some pretty decent hockey right now, but I think they just dug themselves too deep of a hole too early, and they're trying to climb out of it. I don't think it'll be enough. But look on the bright side. If you don't make the playoffs, at least you're not the Vancouver Canucks. But anyways, I guess that'll do it for this one. Don't die. I'll probably have an MLB season predictions video out tomorrow, but we will see.